Another direct connection, another direct correlation is producer Barbara DeFina. Barbara DeFina was married to Scorsese, and was a UPM on Prince of the City. And she had worked with Lumet a few times, and then of course she was an executive producer on GoodFellas. And if you read Glenn Kenny's excellent book Made Men, he goes into some detail about how really she should have been a producer along with Irwin Winkler. Winkler owned the book Wise Guy by Pileggi, so he kind of had the leverage there, but really she did most of the actual producing, so to speak, on location. And Winkler's a great man. I met him a few times. I mean, super down to earth. Just straightforward, pleasant guy. Met him at the Oscars one year. He was with his grandson. I mean, legit. Was surprised I even knew who he was. I'm like, dude, you've only produced a couple of the greatest films ever made. But nice guy, but nevertheless, I mean, she really did kind of get screwed out of that credit. And a couple other things, locations, that airline diner. That's actually, I always thought it was kind of more like Howard B. I got confused because my aunt lives in Rockville Center. Many times I took, JFK in, so I saw a diner that looks similar, but actually it's much closer to LaGuardia. It's off of Astoria. It's in Astoria Heights, I think. And, same location as Prince of the City. They use that same location. That's the location where Danny Cello meets his pal Rocky Gatso to introduce him to this, the matzah. I forget the cop's name. He was Jewish. Nick Napoli was joking, "What, you gonna bring in a matzah?" And then that diner, of course, is when Tommy D and Henry, hijack the truck. It's just a lay down. The guy just leaves the keys in it. Two, he used the N word, 2 millions out, whatever you want to say, in that particular scene. I mean, just Henry and Robert Lucci alone. Henry lived out in Rockville Center, moves out to Long Island, out to Suffolk, Nassau County. Danny Cello in the film, Robert Lucci, the real Robert Lucci, I believe, lived in Great Neck. So I mean, just many parallels and similarities in the two films, that are, worth noting. Lumet's direction, and knowing how to make a film like this, which is very complicated. Reading his amazing book, Making Movies, that this is kind of a particular favorite of his, because, kind of, not a knock, but kind of the rap on Sidney was like, well, he's not stylish, they're character pieces, but some of his films were very stylized. And I think in that work, in this film in particular, there's a lot of stylization that he talks about. Just the way they shot certain scenes and changed the color pattern slowly, the palette, as the film goes on. And I mean, it's just amazing things in the film. But again, it takes multiple viewings. It's complicated. That was the complaint, Pauline Kael. It's just too complicated. But the world is complicated that they embody. I mean, that's kind of what the end of GoodFellas did so well, is like everything is going on all at once. It's like the helicopters flying in there, the sauce, trying to get the coke from here to there. And actually he was moving heroin too. Smack, and probably getting it from, Danny Cello, the real guy, Robbie Lucci, who knows, indirectly. I mean, that's how far above these guys, the Prince of the City guys, where it's why the federal government is coming in and saying, look, man, we gotta clean this thing up. I think you gotta give it a look, give it a try. I think, again, there are issues. It is complicated. It takes a few viewings to really fully grasp everything that's going on, but I'm telling you, It's worth it. I think it's a really powerful picture. I think it's one of Lumet's most underrated films.